And welcome everybody. We are back here on the corner with another with some more new Better Call Saul news. This is a little bit spontaneous, but why the fuck not? Because we are both pretty hyped. I am at least very hyped, and also the co-host here, Patrick. We are hyped for Better Call Saul because we just watched recently, last week, three pretty good teasers, I think, if I do say so myself. But I think what we are just going to do actually is just go through each and every one of them and discuss them in depth in this episode here. If you're up for that.
Yeah, of course I am, man. What's up?
Yeah. Cause all right, let's just go into it here, and we can actually, it's just like 50 minutes, so we can watch the first one and then just pause if we have some insights. So we will go ahead and actually just rewatch the first teaser here, which is the cousins, and already here we can see with the shadows of these cousins. And by the way, like, if you want to watch these teasers, just search them on YouTube. Better Call Saul teaser trailers. There's a video that shows them all, and that's the one that we are also analyzing here. But yeah, here, just looking at the very first frame where we have the shadows of two guys, and we have the iconic skull. What was it you called them?
The death skulls on their boots.
The death skull boots. We are not in doubt already by the very first frame what these guys are. They are the cousins. And that's obviously a very epic way to introduce to actually like an epic introduction to the teaser. Just having that frame of the shadow of these guys. But let's just go ahead and watch it here. We are, I believe, at a crime scene. And there we have it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and pause it here. And ask the first question.
Can you please put it on? Because I'm only getting the countdown timer whenever you start it.
You are? Oh, maybe I need to update. Hold on. I'll send you a new link in Discord so you can follow along. This is pretty important. What happens if you go into that room?
Yeah, that's also the countdown timer.
Holy fucking shit! I hate Watch Together. Okay, I'm gonna make a brand new room. Create the room. Send you the copy the link. Insert it there. Take the video. The video and insert it freshly into the thing here. Do you have visual on the teaser?
Now I can see it, yeah.
Yeah, good. So I'm going to go ahead and pause it here after we've gotten another brilliant shot of their death skull boots. There. We are looking at two cops here, and my first question to you is, where do you think we are?
Mexico. 100%.
Mexico. So we got a crime scene that happened in Mexico. Could it be Salamanca's mansion?
How I know that they're in Mexico, for one, not to sound racist, but they all look Mexicans, right? But second is the uniform. Like they don't wear uniforms like that in America or New Mexico. Second is that the guy is actually nodding in respect of the cousins.
Oh yeah,
Right, and like they all are like looking at them, so they all know who they are, and they're walking at this crime scene here, like they own it, and because they are respected or feared is probably more the correct word to be using here, then they are allowed to be there, possibly because they own the place, right?
Yeah, and this is of course also very realistic, because in the real world, the cartel is having deep ties to the police, which is largely corrupt all over Mexico.
Yeah.
So that of course is real.
Yeah.
Is a real piece of fact there.
And another thing here, man, like which I have like never thought about, is that the era that Breaking Bad and this right here is like taking place, right? Is when the cartels were at their peak point in Mexico, in regards to that it was like this. They were actually walking like this in plain sight, and some even with like golden AKs and shit, like in plain sight in front of cops.
But isn't it still like that? I mean,
no, like it is still violent, it is still a shitstorm, but they are not walking like this obviously amongst the public anymore. Like a little more hidden, and they're not flashing guns or shit like this anymore. At least from what I can gather from like listening to podcasts from former Mexican police officers.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's definitely Mexico because of the respect that they're showing, and the uniform that they are wearing. Like you can see that they are wearing black uniforms and military boots.
Yeah, or navy blue, I think it is. It looks navy blue.
Yeah, and military boots, and that caps. Yeah, Mexico all the way, man. Like the American cops don't wear military boots.
No,
not unless it's some crazy guy like Hank or somebody else who is, like straight from the military to the police or something.
But I wonder if we could actually take a look at what it says on this guy's shoulder. Can we actually read what he is?
What does he say? Like SFP or something? Like Federale or something?
Something Federale Police. Yeah. Could be.
I have something else though for that. You see, these two letters is also the indication that fans also knew that it was April 18th that it's going to premiere, because again. We're
also getting to that in the next teaser. You can finish about these letters,
because again we have D and R, or 418, as D is the fourth letter of the alphabet and R is the 18th.
Wow! Holy shit, man! Is that actually real?
Yeah.
Is that actually the thought process behind it?
That's the thought process behind it.
Whoa, holy shit, man.
Yeah.
That is out. That is speculated, man.
Yeah.
That is seriously genius framing. And we have the R there in the background.
I didn't realize the bullet casing next to the D at first. But there is.
Wow, I mean, but that's just a testament to like how creative, again, and I've said this 100 times, how creative Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul is, not just with regards to the show, but with everything around the show. We're making a big fuss of like hiding these little details in not just the show, but also in this teaser, and and started that out like there was gonna be 3 things, but I'm sure there's also a lot of other stuff.
Holy shit, man! I just realized where they are.
Wow, realized or Googled it?
No, I realized it. I can't Google because like whenever I do that, then the fucking OBS thing turns off.
Yeah.
But no, I realized it. They're at Lalo's compound.
Yeah, that was my first guess in the beginning of this episode. I was like, "Is this Lalo's mansion?"
Yeah, it is.
And yes, that could be because we just saw in the season 5 the finale, the absolutely horrifying finale, because everything for Gus that he had planned is going wrong, because Lalo is like a weasel. He's fucking weaseling his way out of it.
Man,
and then you just have that end shot of Lalo walking away. We've already discussed it multiple times in one of our previous episodes on Better Call Saul, where you see the fucking aggression and darkness in his eyes as he walks away from his mansion
in pursuit of Nacho.
In pursuit of Nacho, possibly even Gus, possibly even Mike, possibly like just fucking going away like he's going to take on everybody who fucked with him now. While, of course, this compound is full of dead assassin bodies now, which now has to be investigated by the police. So even the teaser makes sense in this universe. Even the teaser. So
it does, man.
Actually,
and like what we're seeing here in the background is like the table where the very table, I think, where Nacho and Lalo had their conversation that night.
Oh right. Oh, so are we actually watching from the angle where Nacho let the assassins in?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the angle they roll it in. Yeah. Because that's the table, and then he went to open the door. And hence the bullet casings there, right? And you know, like D seems like that they have like pointed out that this is the 4th bullet fired or whatever, right?
Yeah. Wow. I mean, we've already been talking about this for over 10 minutes now, and we haven't even made it through the first teaser. Yeah. So I can only imagine when it actually starts how much material there will be to cover in these podcasts. Yeah. So stay tuned for that. There's going to be a lot of Better Call Saul analyses coming out when it starts, April 18th. So hyped for that. But yeah, what I wanted to say about this teaser compared to the first one I saw, the one with Saul's wanted poster, then I actually will say, and we can jump into that right now if you want to. Then we can watch Gus's teaser.
Just continue the teaser, man. Like let's just continue the teasers.
Because I thought like. Okay, let's actually just grab Saul's teaser now, and then we take Gus's at the end. Yeah. So here we have
Verde interest.
Mesa, yeah, it's like a nice throwback to Mesa Verde as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I thought. The $5 million, while that was obviously a shocking and amazing, like, what the fuck moment.
Hey man, I got another what the fuck moment. Look at this frame right here, right? Who's pulling the poster down?
Well, that's Gene.
Yeah, man, that's fucking Gene. Self-pulling the poster down.
Yeah. So... but yeah, there's a lot of things here. But like first things first, the 5 million, which we've already discussed a lot off podcast. That it. Do you want to take this one because you were actually the one who Googled this?
I went like deep into this, right? And there's like no way in the federal government of America that they're going to offer $5 million for your ass unless you are Osama bin Laden's right hand or some other higher up terrorist that has blown up the Empire State Building or some shit, or that you are the major head of a cartel, right?
Yeah.
And Saul Goodman don't fit any of those bills. And I don't care if he has like robbed a bank, done a major heist or something. The U.S. government is greedy when it comes to paying out money like this. So you're like looking at like $100,000 max, maybe 500 if it was some really crazy shit that he did. But that's it, right? So I just don't see him being up at like this terrorist level thing. Also, it doesn't work like that. The longer you're on the run, the higher they're going to put up the reward, unless you're like some world wanted terrorist.
Yeah, exactly. And this was also this was not my initial reaction. Initially, I was just like enthused and amazed, which was probably the intention by the writers to put this into this teaser, that to hook us and to make us excited for what he could have possibly done in season 6 that was so terrible. And also, obviously, like in season 6, we will see a lot of Breaking Bad scenes during the Saul Goodman time for Walter, so we can get a sense of what it is he has done to be worth $5 million after Heisenberg was unearthed by the DEA.
Yeah.
But like. But and so yeah, like I'm really excited to see that. I mean, it has to be going, of course, a lot beyond money laundering, because money laundering will not get you $5 million. So there can be a lot of opportunities there. But as we have also discussed off podcast here, I don't like it. I just. Maybe I don't have that much fantasy or that much imagination, but I don't see many ways that he could accumulate that big of a reward.
No. Okay, man, like, look.
Which bring... Okay, I'll finish my my train of thought here. So which brings me to my point that I actually think this teaser is less thrilling as a teaser than the Cousins teaser, because the Cousins teaser actually has many elements to it that is piquing my interest much more, i.e. it is Lalo's compound. We have the numbers on the floor, we have the crime scene, we have the cousins, we have the angle from where the treason of Nacho was committed. We have all these different elements that are piquing my interest for the season, whereas this only has a $5 million reward slapped on a bulletin board. Although what does intrigue me more is actually right underneath the 5 million, and then a little to the right where it says Albuquerque Sane Collaboration, which I mentioned before to you off podcast that could Gene be back in Albuquerque now?
It certainly looks like it.
Definitely. I mean, it could be the DEA, or it could be a police station where they have put this up.
Or the library.
Yeah. Or the library, yeah. And then Gene is there and pulling down his wanted poster. But yeah, that was my train of thought.
Also,
I was a little bit hyped for this.
I did check this earlier. In the corner right, it says a day of like what, for fun? A day of A Day of Food and Fun.
Oh,
A Day of Food and Fun. Yeah.
oh, right.
This Saturday, 6 p.m. at Tigerworks Park. Tigerworks Park is in Albuquerque, New Mexico, so he is definitely home again.
Another clue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because where else? I mean, we're looking at a bulletin board here, which, I mean, it's gotta be at a police station.
Yeah, or a community center or library or something.
And right there underneath the wanted poster, after he rips it off, it says "Job Safety and Health. It's the law."
Yeah.
Although that could be a lot of stuff. And then annual charity softball games to support victims of domestic violence. Yeah, this looks like a police station to me.
Why the hell would he go back?
Yeah, but I mean, we do get the reference the reference to it, or the foreshadowing in season 5, the pilot of season 5, when he says to Ed, "I'm gonna fix it myself," and then he asks him again, "So, to be clear, you are not moving forward with this?" And then he says, "I'm gonna fix it myself."
Maybe he's going to turn himself in and ask for the $5 million.
Wow. Wow, that would actually be interesting. Showing, I mean, he certainly is greedy enough to do that.
Yeah.
But that is actually one of my favorite ending possibilities. I would actually like to see Saul imprisoned somehow. But I don't know how. Maybe in some white-collar prison or something.
Well, for a $5 million bounty, it certainly is not a white-collar prison.
No. Yeah, that's true.
Well, we're talking like that's some true. Guantanamo Bay fucking prison shit.
Yeah. Oh, actually, that would not be so bad either. Of course, it would be bad for Saul, but as an ending, imagine, if we compare it to Walter's ending, he's dying in his element, and we've talked about this before, obviously. Walter is dying in his element with his cooking equipment in a neo-Nazi camp.
Yeah.
Now, if we parallel that to Saul, what would his element be? That would maybe a courtroom.
Yeah, heart attack in a courtroom.
Yeah, heart attack in a courtroom, or some sort of prison, because the courtroom is all about sending people to prison.
Yeah.
But. I don't know. I don't have enough imagination to really write a good ending for that. We will have to see.
Is there any dates that we can see on this? I don't think so.
Oh yeah.
I don't think.
With regards to the 18th of April, the premiere of the season.
Yeah, but also regarding if there was any way to see what year we are in. I mean, we know that the year that we were in the last time we saw him, and he was saying that he was going to fix it himself, was 2015.
Yeah, the year that Breaking Bad ended.
No. Breaking Bad ended in 2010.
Right. So the Gene episode, or the Gene sessions or sections of this, is 5 years after Breaking Bad ends.
Yeah, he's been in hiding for 5 years. Because that's, as I understand it, that's when all we know is that it is at least 2015, because he had that sticker for Omaha's 150-year anniversary in his car, or on his car.
Right.
But we don't know if that is the same year that he has put it there, because it could also be further in the future. But it is the closest pinpoint to the time we have, right?
Yeah.
Which also makes it weird that that guy was recognizing him, because it would have been 5 freaking years since he saw him on TV.
Yeah, exactly.
And also,
but then again, he was on billboards and on commercials all over the country.
Sure thing, but also with a $5 million dollar bounty, he would also have known that he was a wanted fugitive. I mean, would you have let that pass if you were a cab driver and you saw like, shit? That's that mofo that's worth $5 million.
Yeah, I would, and you know why?
Why?
Because this actually makes sense, and I believe it was you who even pointed this out, that the cab driver is the dude who recognizes him in season 5 in the mall.
Yeah,
that's the same guy.
Yeah,
United Omaha Cabs.
Yeah,
and he's a big fan of Saul, even though it might not seem like that to Saul. He might think that he's just out to bust him. But I actually think legitimately that this guy is just a fan of Saul.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense that he is just a fan, but that also means
some Yahoo.
That also means that he don't think that what he has done is so bad, right?
Exactly. He probably doesn't know the whole story.
No.
But he probably just knows the commercial and is a pretty dumb American.
He could also been thinking like, some guy just screwing the government out of money by laundering it. Good for him, man.
Yeah, and because I mean he's a cab driver, so he must also have some sort of sense of liberty and the pursuit of happiness, and taxes don't really fit into that worldview.
That's true.
So this is probably look at us analyzing the fucking cab driver in this show.
But okay, man. Like moving on, like there's nothing more of interest here, except for also on the top right corner where it says a water feeding system, disinfect, and fumigate.
All right, that's. But I don't know if we should go into that. That's probably just the drinking supply of Albuquerque.
But yeah, man, it just sounds like that is exactly like what Walter and Jesse was doing when they were so-called fumigating that house.
Yeah. Right. Again, reference to Breaking Bad.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, we got one more teaser for you guys to discuss, which is actually, I actually like the one with the cousin very much, but the one with Gus certainly also has some interesting elements to it. So let's just watch it now as we talk about it. We have Gus.
418 again.
Yeah, and you gotta explain that on air,
as
we are right now, because we have just seen Gus empty his mailbox. Now he's walking into his house, which has the house number
418, which again is a reference to when the show is going to start, with like April being the 4th month of the year, 18th being the date.
Yeah, and I was baffled by this because, well, he must have lived in 418 also in Breaking Bad, meaning that this was already his house number in Breaking Bad, and now they just used that reference from Breaking Bad to just say, when should we make this air? All right, Gus Fring's house number. How fucking creative is that?
Yeah, that's true.
That is very, very creative by the writers and by the producers, by everybody who's involved with the show. But anyway, Gus going into his house now. His giant ass almost... Man, he actually lives in kind of a Roman mansion almost with those 4 pillars.
Yeah.
but still not too proud.
Not too huge house, and it looks
No.
like it is like the average sized house that you would find in the US,
Yes.
which is approximately 250 square meters.
Yeah. And considering he makes what was it Jesse calculated in season 3, I believe, 96 million over Walter and Jesse's 3 million.
Oh, yeah.
Then that is actually compared to that,
modest,
it is a conservative house.
Yeah. It means that Gus has actually a very low burn rate for his company.
But we could talk about the modesty and the anonymity, that there's desire for anonymity of Gus all night. So let's just move on.
Yeah.
We will probably talk much more about that when we get started with the season. But yeah, now he's coming in to his house. And then it says Better Call Saul returns, the final season, and Gus is sighing. And there's not much more to it, actually, than that. So it seems like the main enthusiastic points of this teaser was the 418 on his house, I think. And of course he's having his iconic yellow shirt. He's probably just returned home from work, actually.
Could it be that the Nacho is waiting for him?
Wow, let's just actually watch again. Judging by his size?
Yeah.
Is he looking at Nacho there?
Yeah, I'm thinking that just sighing and then looking like, shit, man, I gotta deal with this cholo again.
I gotta just watch it. Like when he's taking, does he smile when he's taking out the papers?
Nothing.
No, but he's not looking like that frustrated there. But then he opens the door. Yeah, he's smiling. And then... I don't know.
Yeah, like 100%, man. Nacho is waiting on the other end of that door with like, hey, man, I did everything you asked. It failed. Now you gotta help me.
Yeah. But it's I do believe that his sigh is definitely a reference to him already knowing that Lalo escaped, and he is like, fuck, what am I going to do now?
But wouldn't it make perfect sense that like Nacho was like sitting there waiting for him?
Yeah, it would. Because, fuck, man, Nacho is just a small player. He's just a small fish in this entire game.
But,
so, like, Lala will fucking find him no matter where the fuck he runs.
Yeah.
So, Nacho fucking needs Gus now.
And tell me, man, like, does it make more sense that he would go to Mike now, Saul, or Gus?
Yeah, Gus does tell that to Mike in one of the episodes that you report to this man now, and only this man. Okay. But considering what transpired at Lalo's mansion, maybe Nacho is getting too so scared that he's going directly up the ladder now to the boss.
I think so, but like also in regards to that, like he has asked Mike before to talk to Gus, right? And that didn't even like even though Mike tried to talk to him and said, oh, look, he just wants out and shit, right? Then Gus was very, very fucking what should you say, like anti-helping Nacho. Saying shit like saying shit like he is like the dog that bites the hand that feeds him, right?
A dog that bites every owner, he said, can only be disciplined with a firm hand.
Yeah. So
I know that quote word for word.
So exactly, when that's how things are, right? And yeah, I do believe that he will like skip all the way over the ladder because he actually feels like Gus owes him something now, considering all the shit that he did for him. He did it point by point, right? Everything he asked, he did, but it failed. Yeah. And it was none of their fault, but that doesn't matter now. And I'm like curious to see if Gus is going to see that the same way. If he's actually going to own up to it and say, look now, Joe, I'm gonna help you. I'm gonna help you vanish.
Yeah.
And then he and then maybe like I know that like the guy that plays Ed, the vacuum guy, is dead. But
yeah, I mean the actor.
The actor,
dead, so they can't obviously for those reasons they can't bring him back. Which is a shame, a real shame.
But they could easily like just make it look like that he's calling him, and say you gotta be at this address at that time, and he will help you.
They might even, with modern. CGI and modern voice modulation, they might actually even be able to make it sound like Ed's real voice is coming out of the speaker.
Yeah, but think about this. Like, we've seen many scenes where we haven't even seen the guy, where you just see the minivan pulling up to the bus stop, or like just hanging outside. The place itself, right, would be enough.
Yeah, so there's many possibilities for keeping Ed in the show, even though we can't see him. But I'm like all for authenticity in this show, so I wouldn't want it to be voice mod. I wouldn't want to hear a fake Ed's voice.
Exactly right. So so any of the other things would be fine. We would see that like okay. They have helped out Nacho, given him a new identity, and even Saul doesn't know. I don't even think that they will keep Saul in the loop. And to Mike, he will just say something like he has been dealt with.
Yeah, right? And they will not keep, and we know they won't involve Saul because, to Saul's knowledge, as far as even Breaking Bad, he still believes that Lalo is alive. In the one of the very first lines that Saul has in Breaking Bad, I thought you were Lalo.
Yeah.
When he says that to Breaking Bad. No, what is it that he says? Speaking some Spanish. No Lalo.
Hey, I gotta float one more thing there after my train of thought. Also, it would make perfectly sense to disappear Nacho that way. You know why?
No.
Because then he's free to go to the Salamanca cartel and say that Nacho acted on his own. I had nothing to do with it.
Oh, right. To cover his ass. Yeah, because that's also a good point, because Gus actually doesn't really... I mean, he has way bigger problems than caring about Nacho.
Yeah. And
he is not, at least at this point, he is not so caring about his, I'm just gonna call them employees, even though Nacho is not technically an employee for Gus. He's just like a spy or whatever. But he doesn't, at this point, he doesn't care that much about his employees as he does in Breaking Bad, because as we have heard from him saying in Breaking Bad, I don't believe fear to be an effective motivator. That is actually the very same line that Mike utters in Better Call Saul when he says, "You have a gun to Nacho's head. I don't think fear is a great motivator." And then Gus says, "A dog who bites every owner his hand can only be disciplined with a firm hand."
Yeah.
And that shows Gus's character development from being in Better Call Saul. He is much more tough boss who's like, employees are not worth shit. I need to build my business. Whereas in Breaking Bad, he is softened up and and actually takes Mike's words for good and says, and then takes them in, and then he thinks that fear is not a great motivator in Breaking Bad.
Wow, man, that's a good catch. Holy shit.
Yeah, I took a screenshot of both that. I can send them to you after this podcast if you want to.
Wow. But yeah, man. So he could be like realizing that at this point, and be like, I don't remember what is the exact disappearing sum for Ed, 86,000.
No. 250,000 for Jesse at least.
Yeah, but was that was it?
And for Walter, it was 500,000.
Wow! Holy shit, man.
Can you see that picture?
Hold on, man.
That I just sent to you. If you can't, then we can also just do it after.
Just do it after, man.
Would be nice if you could see them here. But yeah, there. So that's Mike saying the quote there. Oh yeah, there. Okay, so you can see these actually. So that's in Breaking Bad, season 3, episode 4, Green Light, where Gus says, "I don't believe fear to be an effective motivator," and in Better Call Saul, season 5, episode 9, Bad Choice Road, it is the same line that Mike says.
Yeah.
Which has been absorbed in Gus and Breaking Bad now.
Wow, okay, man, that's fucking epic.
Which actually also shows the fostering relationship between Mike and Gus, meaning that Mike has a lot of influence on Gus as a drug cartel boss.
He charged Jesse $125,000 for disappearing him.
Yeah, but that was because the 250 was previously owed.
No, he owed him 125 for the previous pickup. So he owed him.
Oh right, no, okay. So, It was Walter who had to pay 250 to disappear.
Yeah, but he let it go and let Jesse off with only paying $125,000, so he would have some money to set up in Alaska.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like it seems like $125,000 would be small money for Gus to make all of this go away. Even at this point.
Yeah, right? if he cared about Varga, because he doesn't, and he simply doesn't. Not because he is much more a believer in vengeance. Also, like his fucking grudge for Hector at this point is at its highest. No, I mean, the scene where he is.
Sure, he doesn't care about Varga, but he does care about his father. Because Nacho's father is a hard worker, just like him.
But where is it shown that Gus cares about his father?
It's just a theory that I'm floating.
But I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Not from everything, because like, remember that scene where Gus is sitting at Hector's hospital bed and telling him that story of the Quatti.
Okay, man.
Where you really feel that the only thing that matters to Gus in Better Call Saul is to exact vengeance. It is two things: exact vengeance on Hector and build his business, Los Pollos Hermanos. That's all that matters to him.
Okay, so he's just basically a robot in Better Call Saul. Wow. That's crazy.
To put it simply, yes.
Yeah.
And believes that fear is an effective motivator,
Yeah.
as opposed to in Breaking Bad, where he doesn't anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah. So that's something to digest there for the viewers. I think.
Yeah, it is.
Actually, one more interesting reference that I also find over my many rewatches.
He'll
is
never
this-
be one of us, but he earns. They're not
Yeah,
like you and I.
So, okay, so I'll give you a minute to actually just wrap your head around. Do you remember these scenes?
Yeah. Magic.
Do you remember who says what to who? So the first one.
The first one is what is his name? Don something? Don Eladio.
Bolsa.
Bolsa. The first one is Bolsa saying to Lalo that he'll never be one of us, but he earns.
Yeah, and that's in relation to Gus.
Yeah, because Lalo don't like us, but Bolsa is okay with him because he earns.
Yeah.
And then Bolsa says to Gus
in Breaking Bad,
which is years later, they are not like you and I.
And that's about the twins.
And that's like the twins, yeah.
Isn't that the exact same thing he's saying, just to manipulate various people in Better Call Saul, manipulating Lalo,
like
bringing
them
Breaking Bad,
bringing
manipulating Gus. Yeah, I mean, I just think this is such an epic contrast.
That is true, man.
Just proves like in this world. You can say the same thing in different situations just to manipulate the people that you're dealing with to get what you want.
That's true.
Especially Bolsa.
All right, that was it for this episode. I gotta say good night. Peace out, and sub.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to talk to you in this episode about the upcoming Breaking Bad. And I hope you guys will sub and like and share and all that jazz. But mainly just sub. See you for some more epic Breaking Bad discussions. Peace out.